Welcome to the final part of the Dante's game playthrough. It's time to finally end this not that terrible abomination, and well, we defeated Mundus last part. I would try to build up some suspense as to who the final boss actually is, but yeah, we spoiled that like 10 parts ago.
It's Vorgel.
So for the ending of the game, I've set everything back to its default. Mostly because there is actually some visual effect that matters with the regular costume here.
Oh.
Yay.
Huzzah.
So Virgil wanted the demon world and the real world to be brought together from the beginning.
He wanted the truth exposed, and he also wanted to rule the world!
Bum bum bum!
Now, the sunlight in this area looks so strange on this art style because we've barely ever seen sunlight on anything in this game. It like makes Cat's cheeks look extra pink.
Yeah,
Well,
the freedom to be ruled by me. Wow. I mean, he.
yeah, I honestly believe Virgil's, thinking with some idea of doing his weird idea of the right thing. That came out weird too.
At least he seems to be more. Mundus, it came off as like when he said stuff like this, it was stuff. It kind of came across as kind of like an excuse. But I think Virgil at the very least does seem sincere about it a little bit.
Still an asshole though.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's still an asshole, but he's a sincere. Okay, that doesn't even make it sound any better.
So, here we go. Our obligatory Dante versus Virgil fight. I do like this particular angle where we see them, spend some time, as allies and brothers that have banter and shit, and then they have their falling out. Because in Devil May Cry 3, even in the prequel, and even in the pre-prequel manga, Dante and Virgil were already at odds and fighting each other. We never saw them as anything but...
We really only had a prologue.
Yeah, we never saw them as anything but enemies, and we sort of just had to take the game's word for it that they were kids at one point that played around and laughed because there was a flashback sound effect in Devil May Cry 1.
Wah, 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 wah.
But yeah, I kind of like the music that plays during this boss. It's semi-memorable. It's nothing at all compared to the Virgil boss themes in Devil May Cry 3, though.
Now, weren't the Virgil fights in that game considered some of the best in the whole series?
So... Oh yes. Okay. Unfortunately, this battle is nothing like those battles. For one thing, instead of fighting Virgil as if he were another player character, which was almost the effect they achieved in the DmC 3 boss fights, there are specific times that are actually pretty hard to figure out where you can actually damage him.
Oh, they just deflect their bullets.
Oh yeah,
look at that.
That's something Virgil's always done, even in DmC 3. He just deflects your bullets with his sword, both in cutscene and in the actual boss fights.
Well, he never uses a gun. He has his glowy swordy thingy motherfuckers.
His Yamato.
They're called astral swords or something of that nature.
Yeah.
At least,
which he always had, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, yeah. And when you play as Virgil, they're his replacement for the guns. Go ahead.
Sorry, you can finish. I'm gonna bring up something completely different because that's what I do. I go off topic.
All I was gonna say is that he does. That's also true in Virgil's Downfall as well, where he uses the blue glowy swords when you use the gun button.
like at the very least, from what I can say is that from what I can see of this boss fight, it does seem like their fighting strategies seem to reflect their personalities a little bit.
Yeah.
Like like Dante's normal attack strategy is just to go and sort of like slash at things until they die,
Yeah.
which what reflects his like hot-headedness.
Yeah, actually, I want to
And
bring
Virgil
up
like blocks a whole lot. Since
Yeah,
he's
actually-
the elected one.
about Dante's fighting strategy. I want to bring up a point, and I already mentioned this like ages and ages before this will get uploaded in a comment, but Dante's sword swinging style in this game is a lot less like Dante's from the classic series and more like Nero's. Because he does a lot of one-handed swings with massive sloppy follow-throughs, whereas that was Nero's style, mostly because he only had one sword arm to work with. And Dante in the classic series had a much more refined two-handed style of swinging his sword that looked like he was formally trained. Whereas in this, he uses Nero's style and it looks a lot more self-taught. And, it fits this particular version of Dante, but I just thought that was an interesting difference. I wish you could do flying drop kicks and stuff as Nero when you play as him. But
That's what this game's missing. Flying drop kicks.
yeah, most of the stuff Virgil in Devil May Cry 3 does in his boss fights, you can actually do when you play as him. But all this teleporting around bullshit and stuff, a lot of it is stuff you're not going to be able to do when you play Virgil's Downfall. He does have some of his moves, and he has some teleportation tricks and stuff, but it's not quite as involved.
Well, that's something I liked about Hyrule Warriors is that every like player character you fight in the game uses moves that you can use when you play as them. It's like there's some slight differences, like they'll do something at the end of a combo just right away, but that's just for gameplay. So, but in general,
Well, with Dynasty Warriors, the stuff that you can't do is usually reserved for the larger bosses. Which, only certain Dynasty Warriors or Dynasty Warriors Gundam games include playable versions of, I think. If at all.
The only thing that really pissed me off about Dynasty Warriors when it came to giving a fighter boss properties was that you knock them on their ass, they get up, and they suddenly heal themselves.
Yeah.
That was a stupid way of prolonging the fight, and I hated it.
Anyway, the different Devil Trigger ability that Virgil has is right here, and it's his doppelganger style, which was actually a style Dante gained in Devil May Cry 3. So I thought that was an interesting callback. But, you can use it, like, very late in Virgil's Downfall, when Virgil becomes a Super Saiyan, but,
Wait, what?
Virgil's Downfall. Eventually, Virgil gains more demon power than he already has, and his hair flares up and his eyes get all glowy, and you play as him when he's like that. So,
that's supposed to look like Virgil from DmC 3?
No, it's even like more crazy haired. It's like he looks like a white haired Super Saiyan.
This boss fight's pretty short compared to the Mundus one, though.
Yeah.
I guess
anyway,
it's trying to go for a different flavor of final boss, I suppose.
Yeah. Eventually, what'll happen is Virgil will become like unhittable, and he'll start healing himself. And what you have to do is go into Devil Trigger and swing your sword at him. So you have to use the doppelganger to gain Devil Trigger. Now, as you can see, Dante's hair has magically grown like 5 inches and turned white. Also, he has this really unnecessarily vicious look on his face, which I suppose is to signify that he's becoming a little bit absorbed by his demon power right now.
Aw, this shouldn't be able to kill Virgil. Demon people put a sword through them every morning to get up and to get up.
well, they have to be able to take the sword out, though. Anyway, this is why Dante doesn't kill Virgil.
Oh, because Cat asks him to?
Shh. She even says it like, for me? Like, in this really low, whispery voice that promises things.
I'll be your best friend!
It's the kind of for me you use when you're, I don't know, asking for jewelry.
Oh, and his hair's all white now because reasons.
Because he's awakened his inner demon.
But he didn't
Ooh.
even do anything really all that different. He just went to Devil Trigger.
He went to Devil Trigger and got extremely pissed off, and apparently it's had some side effects.
Hey, well, there's black patches in his hair now as opposed to white patches, or maybe that's just a weird lighting thing.
It might be a lighting patch, but it did look for a second that there was a black patch where the white patch used to be, and I think.
No, that's definitely half black, half white.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
no, more white than black. Yeah.
There are some darker portions there. I
Yeah.
can't tell what's lighting and what's not.
Virgil, you missed the best chance for a Avengers reference. The world's under my protection now. You're doing a great job with that. Points to destroyed city in the background. So we're just gonna let him go.
Yeah.
All right.
And he,
Sequel bait.
yeah, and he can apparently cut open wormholes with his sword, which isn't terribly far off from what Yamato could actually do, but it's kind of a weird, just one-off ability that never comes back at any point during the DLC. His hair looks more gray than white. It's like he spontaneously went.
Oh, he's really stressed out.
He spontaneously aged like 60 years. I never used the white-haired Dante model, ever. It just looks odd to me. And yeah, you're right, he's got some actual black patches in there.
Yeah, it's not completely white yet, which just looks more awkward.
Now, because Ninja Theory is so proud of what they made here, what we're going to be seeing during the credits is a lot of camcorder behind-the-scenes stuff. And either there's a lot of tits on their desks, or they're censoring out anything they think could get them in trouble for copyrights.
Could be it.
Concept art and all of that stuff. And you know, it's fairly interesting stuff because from an art direction standpoint, I actually don't think DmC is bad at all.
I'm conflicted because I haven't played this one, and again, I'm sure that gameplay-wise, the annoying things you've mentioned, it probably controls and plays just fine. I did not find the aesthetic and the story and all that particularly pleasant to watch, which I guess is the point. But if I was gonna play a game in this genre, I think I would pick almost anything else. Is more what I was. They really have sword fights in their office, really.
This is for mocap. There was a scene exactly like that at the beginning of the Virgil fight, and that is from the launch trailer. So it's not even the correct Dante. And then they transition into this as if that's supposed to be the same thing. No, we don't get to use that spear ever.
Well, I do believe, as unpopular of an opinion this might be to hardcore classic DmC fans, that the hate for this game is clearly overblown.
Says the guy who hates Sonic Boom.
It's
Well,
really
Sonic Boom deserves all of that.
Shut up.
This game looks fine.
It's really only bad at all in the context of the series it's attached to. It's not bad on its own merits. In fact, I would have liked it if it was another game with its own characters and stuff.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest problem it has, is that it's trying to be a reboot of something that wasn't really broken in the first place.
And the reboot material isn't, compelling, at least compared to what was there already. It's like, you could argue that Tomb Raider benefited from a reboot. I think that's a bit of a shaky argument, because from a gameplay perspective, I kind of preferred the old Tomb Raiders, but...
Disagree.
Well, not the old Tomb Raiders, more like the PS2.
Are you talking
Tomb
about like
Raiders.
PS2 and above?
No,
All right,
no,
that
no.
I can't argue with because I never played those, but I would totally say, yeah, compared to the PS1 games.
Play Tomb Raider Anniversary, dude. Seriously.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like, I think there's a PS... Yeah, well, why am I saying I think? I own it. There's a PS3 trilogy that contains all the PS2 ones, minus Angel of Darkness, which was pretty terrible.
That was mocap, right?
Yeah,
Or was it just
mocap,
fooling us off for no fucking reason?
It was... Yeah, it was skating away. There's no scene like that in the game ever. But yeah, there's no more stuff to show, so we're just going to see an empty black space on the left-hand side of the credits for no reason. And oh god, there's still 5 minutes left in this video.
You left it in.
Oh, we have to, man.
Quality assurance team. Okay, there's more than 2. Good.
Yeah. Better than Sonic Boom.
Shut up.
In any case, final thoughts, anyone?
Well, I basically already summed it up, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, I have not yet played this game for myself, but from what I've seen from beginning to end, it does not look like a bad game at all. Now, I can kind of get the vibe that I would still play Bayonetta 1 or 2 over this. But you know, I played those games to death compared to this, but, you know, it doesn't look bad. It looks like something I would perfectly enjoy, even if I did play the other DMC games beforehand.
Ryan?
I'm pretty much feeling the same way John is. It looks perfectly fine. I'm sure it plays perfectly fine. Just the issue is that it's attaching itself to a franchise that feels nothing like this in terms of aesthetics and characters.
Yeah, and that was kind of my argument about Resident Evil 4 in the first place when we did that. Except Resident Evil 4 is a really great game as opposed to this, which is just kind of on par.
Right.
Yeah, it's up to par. Is how I would describe it. It's perfectly functional and playable as an action game with a stylish bent, and it's just it has some irritating issues with the combat and more specifically certain enemies that make it harder to really come back to. But then I had problems with certain enemies in previous games as well, most notably in Devil May Cry 3, where I felt most of the enemy roster was kind of anti-combo. Awesome bosses in that game almost make up for it, though.
How would this rank for you on the DMC totem pole?
I think I said this before, but it ranks slightly higher than 1. 2 is way at the bottom, and 3 is a bit higher than this game just because of overall quality. 4 is my go-to DMC game, just for general playing because it has the best normal enemy lineup, I felt, but 3 is overall the best in the series. Which is a confusing totem pole, so I'm just going to order it bottom to top, 2, a big void of empty space, 1, DMC, 4, and 3.
Okay, since you hate DMC 2 that much, I'm gonna play it and try to find out why it's actually an underrated...
And you're gonna like it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna find out why it's an underrated gem.
Okay.
Well, we have something else planned for your terrible game of next trip, so our
Why
Brace
do I
yourselves,
have to play
brace
terrible
yourselves.
games?
Because you like everything.
I don't like everything.
You like Boom.
Do you want
You
me to...
You like Sonic 06. Shut up.
I like a third of Sonic 06.
Do you want me to sum up why I hate Devil May Cry 2?
Wait till the playthrough. That'd be very anticlimactic if you say it now.
We have 2 minutes left in the video.
Oh god damn it!
But we're reaching the end of the credits though. It's like doing all the copyright year crap.
And the songs.
Yeah. Well, it's just boring on every level except for the music, which is pretty good. Okay.
Well, that sounds familiar.
It's I can't think of any standout examples of anything that really pissed me off except the invisible fish boss in Dante Must Die mode. Everything else is just a brown mess of tedium and bullshit.
They have a song literally called "What the Fuck Is Wrong with You?"
No, what the beep is wrong with you? It's a censored fuck.
Oh, sorry. What the fuck is wrong with you? Okay.
Yeah, and now we get
wonder
the
what
mission
Kershaw was
complete screen for the final mission.
Mission complete.
Oh, I only got double S in time. I'm sure that's going to knock down my ranking.
To a C.
No,
No, triple S.
Do
I
it
triple
again.
S'd Virgil.
A 0 out of
I-
10.
Can we just stop to appreciate? I triple S'd the final boss without actually knowing when the openings to hit it are.
Imagine how well you do if you actually knew how to fight him.
Yeah. Anyway, we got our white hair Dante costume and the Son of Sparta mode, which is just the game's hard mode.
Is there a Dante Must Die mode?
Yes, there is.
Oh.
Also, Bloody Palace.
Quick synopsis.
Bloody Palace is a survival mode, and I'm only leaving this in to show off the white hair Dante costume. But
He looks really, really upset at that white hair. It's like, oh god, I made an asshole joke and now I'm stuck with it.
yeah, Bloody Palace is a survival mode that they introduced in Devil May Cry 2, really came into its own in 3, and continued to be awesome in 4, even though they changed the system around. You go through, like, I think in 2 and 3, it's 1,000 floors. But you have like level skipping floors, teleportation orbs after every floor, so you're not going to be playing 1,000 fights. But the real thing there is it's just an endless challenge mode, and it because the Devil May Cry series excels so great at combat. That's probably where you're going to be spending most of your time after you've cleared out the story mode and aren't necessarily ready to play through the next difficulty yet.
Okay. Well, good job, Lewis.